Hello! What are you all doing here? So good to see you. Welcome, welcome. I am Chamberlain Jonas of the Wayward Inquisition. Thanks for stopping by. Stay a while, chat, ask some questions. We are a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. We do world building. Knight Commander Patrick does some miniature painting from time to time. We have all sorts of VODs for you to watch. If you want something with some good story and characters in it, we got some good characters for you. I'll tell you what. Let me make sure that we're shaking and baking here. Yep, I can hear myself from it. That's all I need to know. Turn down the brightness to save my phone battery. Also, maybe put it in a way so it's not so glary, so I can actually see if anyone comments in. There we go. That'll work. And yes, we're here to world build, character create, etc. Talk nerdum. I do typically talk about movies I've seen or animes. But the main purpose for me to be here is you. I want to help you become the DM I know you can be. Or be the player I know that you can be. Maybe you're having trouble making a character. I can help with that. Maybe you're stuck making your world's pantheon. I can help with that. I am here to assist. But without further ado, tonight I'm thinking about starting off with making a character. So one of our awesome guys that's in our Discord, which you should totally join because it's rocking and a poppin'. One of our guys, Nannergoo, messaged me the other day, and he's working on a superhero one-shot. He said it's going to be set in a future DC, Gotham. So he said that, Batman and Joker are dead. Other crime syndicate people have kind of arisen. But, it's going to be a superhero themed. Pretty sweet, gotta say. I've already made 2 characters for it. He wants me to be in the one shot. He's not sure when it's going to happen, but yeah, he's going to try his hand at DMing. So more power to you, Nannergoo. But he did say he's going to use 5e, basically use D&D classes to make your hero. So far, I like to make multiples. 1, making characters is just fun. 2, just in case, not sure who all's going to be in the one shot, maybe somebody really has their heart set on being a barbarian. Then yes, you can always double up or even triple up if you wanted to in sessions, and especially one shots because they're one shots, But I like to have multiple characters, so if someone else wants to play something, I can switch up and do, be somebody else and not, give more variety. So I currently have a totem barbarian. His name is Marcus Bogdan, and he is a Russian man. I am about 29. I am 6'4". I'm very tall, yes. Thank you. Now, I'm not sure where he's going to get his power from yet. I could go kind of the classic, oh, the Russians were trying to make their own super soldiers, but that I feel it's too cliche, you know? Feels like it's been done a lot. But I'll think of something. But I have the ability to I can produce a fluid through my pores that hardens very quick, makes my skin very tough like armor. And then when my rage ends, the scales that protect me, they flake off, and so that is why I have the code name Flakes. And yeah, so Marcus is just this big brute of a Russian man. I plan on him being hand to hand. So I'll give him, because we're gonna be at level 5 for this one shot. So I'll give him the that one fighter, little fighting style where lets you be unarmed. And then next I have Amina Nefertari. I am a battle master fighter, aka Satet. I am Egyptian. I am 24. I'm about 5'7". Apparently, during a confrontation with one you all call the Reverse Flash, he tore a hole in time. I was pulled through after being detained for quite a while. I was released into the custody of one Amanda Waller. I do apologize for the accent. I'm not really sure if Egyptians have, I'm sure there is an Egyptian accent, you know what I'm saying? But plus this is kind of a trial run for me for her voice. But yes, this Amanda Waller, she used my tracking and hunting skills for national security. In return, I am granted freedoms, as well as education, room and board, etc. Your world is very different from the age I came from. I don't know if it's better, I would say. Things seem a bit too complicated, too noisy. Your big cities, ooh, I don't like. And yeah, Amina is a Battlemaster fighter. She's going to use bow and arrow and 2, if they get close, she can dual wield using, if I can remember the name of it, I want to say it was like Kapash, something like that, which are those cool kind of like curved swords that you, it's a very Egyptian style sword. But I want to make somebody. So yeah, I have one powered person, one unpowered person. I want to do another powered. I want to do something magical, using the sorcerer class or something like that. What do we want to do? Maybe a warlock? Hey, that's new. Hey, this is from book The Griffin's Saddlebag. The patron for this warlock is called the Mini. Interesting. Yeah, this one's definitely new. I don't remember it being on here before. If you don't know, there's a wonderful website called 5etools.com. There's a current version And then there's what is called the 2014 version on the site. And what that does is the 2014 one excludes all of the 2024 stuff that got added on. Mm-hmm. Weird. Huh. I'm not quite familiar with this subclass for the warlock, so I'm not going to use it. And I don't even know if I'm going to use a warlock as the basis. But with kind of what I'm already thinking for this character, I mean, the warlock would fit, but I really. So I have a character named Sadine, and I played her once in a one shot that Courtney led us in. She's our Grand Inquisitor. She's super awesome. And Sadine was a blood wizard, and I really got into how she casted spells. And dude, it was awesome. So, and especially with it being like a blood magic wizard, I really like the concepts of, for blood magic that you got to hurt yourself in some way. A lot of time people just do like, "Oh yeah, I cut my hand," and blah blah blah, which is good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you got to have a basis. Everything can't be this heightened like, "Oh, wow." But there's a spell called Shatter in which you pick a point in the distance and this kind of sound wave thing, and it hurts the bad guys that you're fighting. And the spell mentions something about like you need a mica chip, like some kind of chip. So what I did was she put this chip in her mouth, and then she took kind of a long needle, not like a sewing needle, something thinner, but still significant. But yeah, she took it and stuck it into her throat, and then she did the spell, and so she had that pain from the blood magic. Yeah, man, that one was cool. That was a good one. So I'm thinking something along that line. And the best part is I could really pick any magical class and just flavor it that way. Never deny the power of flavor. That's kind of my favorite aspect. A lot of people get stuck in the rules and the mechanical side of classes and whatnot, but I'm just like, no, your barbarian doesn't have to be a naked dumb guy that hits real good and can get hit real good. So let's see. I could do. Nah, I'm not going to do cleric for this. Maybe bard? Let me look under sorcerer. Is there a blood sorcerer? No. But I could definitely flavor one to be. Yeah, let's do sorcerer. And I do really like the shadow sorcerer. That one's pretty cool. Grave. Oh yeah, we're gonna be level 5. So I would just get those things. Yeah, good. Are all the classes showing? Hold on. Something feels off. Oh, I could do wild magic, so you get that nice random effect with each spell cast. Let me look back at Warlock again. We could do... Yeah, what if it's a Fiend? Fiend Warlock. Although I gotta say, of the Warlock subclasses, I think the Genie's my favorite. Just because I really like what it allows you to do. I know I just talked about mechanics and whatnot, but because like with the Genie, you can go inside of an object of your choosing and rest inside it. We're gonna stick with, since Adine was a blood wizard, let's stick with that one. Hey, where'd it go? Oh no, it's gone. WTF, mate? Why would they do that? Why would they take away my blood magic? Is it still under cleric? Whoa, that's wild. Ooh. That might be a problem for this upcoming campaign I'm gonna be in. I kinda need to know how my blood cleric's gonna work. That's alright, buddy. I'll figure it out. Yeah, looks like they traded some things out on here. This is another reason why, personally, I'm trying to get away from D&D, because with all the different editions, what you need to know changes, and that's no good. That's no good. Well, sassafras. We'll just use, you know what, we're gonna head back to Sorcerer. What the heck? We'll do, we'll do the Draconic Sorcerer. That'll fit. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it's her fur. Oh yeah, what's the pyromancer? And draconic. Alright, I'm spending way too much time on this. Let's get this ball rolling, dude. Okay, not that you couldn't be some other kind of race, because, I mean, it's superhero. Things get wild all the times. But I've been sticking with human because, I mean, it's on Earth. So we're gonna do... I already have like a time traveler person. Isn't there a DC Comics blood villain? I'm pretty sure, like, isn't there somebody that does weird stuff? There's Brother Blood. He gained immortality. He has vampire-like powers. Okay, that could work. Maybe he infected this person, and that's how they got their powers. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. We'll use we'll use Draconic as the base subclass. Well, you know what? You don't need a subclass. I'm just gonna be straight sorcerer. I know, wild, right? So if we're gonna be at 5th level, that will give me access up to 3rd level spells. Cool. And I can know 6 spells plus modifiers and all that. Oh, that's a good point. Should probably make stat sheets for these people at some point. Not tonight. Okay, so I have really tall Russian guy, small Russian girl, or small Egyptian girl. Let's do, ooh, wait a second. Second. Yeah, in DC, there's, what's his name? Trigun? You know, Raven's demon dad. Yeah, Trigon. Gone, not gun. Trigun is an anime. So yeah, maybe. Because I want there to be, you know, the pain side of this blood magic. And it really wouldn't make as much sense to me if it was like, oh yeah, you know, I got infected by this vampire guy, and so now I have to wound myself to do magic. But if it came through somebody like Trigon, then we're cooking with fire. Wow, I didn't realize DC had so many demon people in it. Well, it has been around for quite a long time. I would imagine they would keep adding more. Although these names aren't really, not really jumping out at me. You know what we need? We need music. Let's do some Skillet. Don't want to be too loud. There we go. Good little background. And yeah, while I'm working on this, do you have a favorite character that is just like this one? You just absolutely love this character. You reuse them and use them time and time again. Let us know in the comments. Okay, let's go. All right, yeah, Kafir. Let's go with that one. So let's do. Who do I want this person to be? Mm-hmm. Neil. It's a good last name. You know what? Sure. Neil Quebeman. Why not? It's for you, Mason. He is a. This is going to be a sorcerer. Just straight sorcerer. No fancy stuff. His code name. Sanguine is another word for blood. Let's do, Ooh, no. Yeah. His code name, Pain. He's male. Yeah, we're just gonna go. We're gonna go with American male. Ooh. What if we let's have him be older. Because we got two young people. So yeah, let's make this guy a little older. He's gonna be 66. And he's 5'9". Now that I walk through the valley of death. If you don't listen to Skillet, that's okay. We all have different tastes. But I highly recommend them. Pretty awesome band. They rock. Okay, and then his story. Ooh, yes. So Neil has been a part of a demonic cult for the majority of his life. What was it? Kafir? Yes, the horned one. Let's see. Aha. One day, Kafir. Ooh. Ooh. Ah. Okay, so yeah, one day, Neil is in an accident and is in a coma. While in this limbo state, he is approached by Kafir. Is Kafir a dude? Kind of sounds like a dude. Let's see. Oh, it was only in one comic book. And it does not specify Kafir. I guess I could. What did they look like in the comic? That's a dude. Yeah, that's a dude. Kafir is trapped. Is trapped as well and needs Neil's help. In exchange for power and healing from the coma, Neil must must inflict pain upon himself and others. Sorry, Mason. I'm gonna change the last name. It just doesn't flow for me. Neil. The internet is your friend, my friends. Let's see. Last names. Neil. Neil Turner. Yeah. Neil Turner. Okay. And Big Bob Boom, we have another superhero for this one shot. What time is it? 7:20? Yep, let's do one more. One more superhero character. Oh yeah, I wanted to... Oh, I can see how many people are watching. Cool, cool. Nice. But yes, if anybody happens to be tuning in and maybe it's just not telling me, I'm here for you. If you got any questions, I can help you world build. Or character create. Or, I don't know, cheat on your math test. Actually, I could not help you with that. I'm sure the math I learned is probably way different than whatever they teach now. Oh. Okay, so I have 2 martial people, 1 essentially spellcaster. Let's do 1 more spellcastery person. Ooh, this one could be more of a hybrid. So we could do something that's like a paladin. But we're gonna do... maybe the Blade Song Wizard? But I don't want it to be magic again. Does that make sense? Let's see. What could I flavor? Ooh. Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay. I see what you're doing there. Okay, we're gonna stick with wizard. Let me look at these subclasses real quick. This time I actually will pick a subclass for this one. You can create... oh yeah, that one helps you protect your comrades from your spells. That's the evocation wizard. The scribes wizard. Quill, spellbook. I mean, I can just ignore all that. Yeah, I can replace the damage type, but no. That doesn't quite fit with what I'm vibing here. And I think you all are gonna like this. Maybe I should change this to an artificer instead of a wizard. Ooh. Hold on. Actually, yeah, that's a pretty good point to bring up there, Jojo. What does the wizard get? Those things? Weapons. Okay, that kind of works. That kind of works. Let me look at artificer. And it kind of would make more sense if he was an artificer. Actually, yes. Change plans. Gonna be artificer. Let me. We'll go with armorer. Oh, you know what? Show me the artillerist too. So, okay, this is what I'm thinking for this last character. They are effectively, in D&D terms, they're going to be a warforged that was designed to be like a meta human hunter, you know, given the superhero vibe for this one shot. And so the spells, it's not magic. So if I do like a firebolt, this warforge is like, and its hand, detaches, and then, so it's all like technical stuff. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, that's sick. I love it. Okay, so the armor. Okay, remember we're gonna be level 5. So you get those things. And yeah, it'd be blah 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 blah. Okay, so yeah, if I do the armor one, I can either have it be kind of a more defensive thing where he can put up a defensive field, or do like empowered thunder punch, or the one that I'm kind of leaning a little more towards is the infiltrator, which lets you shoot like lightning out. Actually, yeah, that Thunder Gauntlet one would work really well too. The Artillerist. So I get those spells. And yeah, this is the one where you get like a little cannon companion. Space. That tiny one can be held in one hand. You can have one cannon at a time. It has an AC. Yeah. You can determine its appearance. Climb. So what I'm sort of thinking is, what if I used the cannon instead of being like a separate little turret thing? What if it was this Warforged gun? So it was like a living gun that he had with him. And yeah, it can do all sorts of doodads. And then yeah, Battlesmith. Oh, Battlesmith is you get the little defender. Okay. I'm gonna look that up real quick. Can an artillerist artificer carry his cannon as a weapon? Okay, yeah. The internet is saying that that is a reasonable thing to do. Very cool. Oh man, this is kind of a tough call. Um, hmm. Sorry. Had to read up on some stuff. Oh man, the artillerist is pretty cool and fits with what I'm going for, but also, you know what? I'm gonna stick with the armorer because I like the thunder gauntlet thing, and also the defensive shield. Okay. All right. Okay. So his name is going to be. Oh. He goes by the name Nines. His actual name being his serial number. Yeah, maybe he's like 9921909. Take out the one. Yeah, we need more nines in there. 992909. So, and yeah, he doesn't have a alias. He is just, his code name is his name, Nines. Warforged. Yeah, he'll be a male. Well, let's keep it even. Do I want to? Would it work better if I did it as a more female one? Nah, who cares? I'm a dude. It's easier for me to play as dudes, you know? And he is, we're just going to say 6 feet even. Okay. Nines was created to be a meta hunter. But was discarded for being malfunctioned. Hmm. Yeah, that's fine. Little cliche, I would say. Oh. Oh. That's a little bit better. Sort of the same thing, but different enough. Okay, so no. He was not a meta hunter. Um, Nines is a brainiac drone. If I can spell right. Brainiac. There we go. Who who got disconnected from Brainiac's servers. Ooh, hello, whoever else is watching. Welcome. I am Jonas. I am here to assist. I'm doing some character creation for a friend's one shot, a superhero one shot. But yeah, if you're working on a character yourself or world building, ask away. I am here to help. So yeah, this one shot that a friend's working on, as I said, superhero theme. So I'm making one last character for it, so I have some variety depending on what everyone else does. Nines is effectively a Warforged that was kind of a worker drone for Brainiac. But then when he got defeated and, fled, he was still down below and got disconnected from the servers. And so now he's had to kind of find his own way, if you will, until his master returns. Master to return. Now that does beg the question of why wouldn't he just like hide out somewhere and like go in the sleep mode until Big Daddy Brainiac came back. But but who cares? And yeah, forgot to mention that. He is a artificer armorer. And yeah, since it's superhero and he said it's going to be set in Gotham, his spells will just be mechanical attachments to his body. Ooh, that's why he's still awake. Finds work to gain intel on the world state to upload to Brainiac upon his return. Yeah. So he's kind of like a spy drone. Hey, this isn't Skillet, but I still love it. Davy Crowder. You all probably can't hear the music, but, you know, I got some little background music going for myself. And yeah, creating characters is so much fun. But we're going to change gears for now. Let's do some world building. Tell me, is it God? He is good God Almighty. I should have messaged Nanergoo about this one. He was pretty interested whenever I did this one before. I do plan on doing another stream of Scoundrel at some point. Because that is really fun. If you don't know, Scoundrel is a solo dungeon crawl that you do with a deck of cards. It's pretty ingenious and really simple. And of course, I have to add a narrative to it. That just adds to the fun and flavor. Let's see. Let me come in here. Do a little boop beep bop. It doesn't look like he's online. That's okay. But, so I did a session of Scoundrel where I played as Jethro Stein, my one-eyed World War II German soldier of immortality and universal travel. Man, I love Jethro. So freaking cool and sad and happy and awesome. But in the little session I did, he wound up in a world that it was modern, but in ruin. He appeared through this gateway inside of a museum, and there was Egyptian elves. Oh, and then there was a mural. It's been quite a while since I did that stream, but I vaguely remember some of the details. There was a mural of the elves. It was like conquering orcs. And I didn't really go into much of the world's lore, but that's also because I didn't really have any. I was just kind of making things up as I went along in that scoundrel play. But yeah, we're gonna expand on that world. So just for funsies. So to give you a little backstory and context, because I mean that would help out a lot. This world that Jethro found himself in was, yes, it was looked to be elven, I guess, dominant in a way, but I really didn't go into that, other than there were ancient Egyptian-styled elves in this museum, and then, like I said, they conquered the orcs, but as they went through, the world is basically gone and destroyed in ruins, and it's just flooded with these vampiric hound creatures. It was a lot of fun. Man, that was a lot of fun. But let's expand on this world, shall we? Let's stick with the idea that it is an elven world. I could do something where, yes, they saw, these artifacts of these ancient elves, but, something else was in charge of this world. But yeah, we're gonna stick with elves. Let's call it. Generally, I like to use Google Translate. Google Translate. You know what? Show me Italian. What's the Italian word for world? Mondo. La terra is earth, soil. Okay. And then, once when I get a word like this, like mondo, and if earth is terra, we can get a little funky and change up some of the letters. Maybe it's Monto. Or Terramonto. Terramonto. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. But we're gonna change it up just a bit more. We could do like Paramonto. Paramonto. That's right. These elves are Italian. Didn't see that one coming. When world building, I've heard some other YouTubers say not to use real life cultures for your fictional ones, and that's dumb. you should totally use real cultures and peoples for your peoples. And yeah, when people think of elves, I think they do typically go to like high British, you know. But I mean, Italian kind of works for them. Also French. I could see elves, you know, being French. So we got our world. Now let's do what continent this little venture is in. Back to Le Google. Okay, dirt in Italian is sporco. Sporcisia. Actually, I really like that one. Sporcisia. Sporcisia. And this is the city of oh, nope. Uh-oh, something happened to Google Translate. It's not beep boop bopping no more. Oh, technology. You're just a silly little thing. Let's just make up the city name. It is, Philandil. Now, this place is in ruins. It is a apocalyptic world. There are eyeless vampiric hound ghouls stalking the lands. How did this happen? How do we want this to happen? And that's kind of the beauty of it too, is we could make multiple versions of what happened because maybe no one actually knows. Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to say, Theory 1. Maybe, yeah. There was a great earthquake, and afterwards from the fissures, these ghouls arose from the pits of the earth. Theory 2. They were a lab-grown monster that escaped and multiplied. Theory 3. They're aliens. Theory 4. Yeah, let's make a bunch of theories for this. Because, yeah, if nobody knows, they're going to kind of try to piece together things, turn of events. So maybe, there was this earthquake and there were some fissures and whatnot. Like, we're talking, there was a great worldwide earthquake. Yeah, you know what? No fissures, because that almost makes it too obvious, which would work for the theories. But it also kind of makes it almost like too definite. Like, oh, well, yeah, obviously, then it's that, because if these fissures opened up, and then that's where they're coming from. But if there was just the big earthquake, and then just randomly people started seeing them, and, maybe it was months later before they started to appear after the earthquake. Yeah, we're going to say, and long afterwards, these ghouls arose from the earth. Let's see, they're aliens. What could be another thing? Because even though it has elves, it's not really a fantasy world. Does that make sense? Because it's still quite modern. I mean, basically, like, just take the history of Earth and just reskin humans with elves. So what could be another possibility? So we got that they're an ancient beast that dwelled beneath the earth, and then, something woke them up. Lab-grown monster, aliens. I think that actually kind of covers everything, doesn't it? Huh. I've seen a very good share of monster movies. I'm trying to think. So maybe they weren't lab grown. Oh yeah, they're mutated hounds from bio waste. Yep, never fails. You start streaming and everybody wants to talk to you. Okay, this is good. This is good. We're making progresso here. Because, yeah, they're more... Yeah, we'll stick with hound. Mutated hound. Okay, sorry. That was, man, I really got lost in thought there for a second. I was thinking about the bio waste and like, yeah, what material is it? Yeah. So I'll put some air quotes around that one. So, yeah. So we got this elven world, and one of the theories is that these vampiric ghouls came from basically radioactive waste, and not to just use radioactive waste. What if there's some material on this world, and that's what they use for their fuel source? Um, mm, so we have petroleum. Vin, Ventral. Yeah, and we convert petroleum into different things, and some places around the world call it petrol. So yeah, this is ventral, ventral. Fuel source. Hmm. Let's get more into the world's history. So we already know about that at some point there were orcs, and the elves defeated them. Are there going to be any other races here, or is that going to be it? Because it is fun to have a singular raced environment. Hmm. And elves versus orcs is a pretty common trope. Yeah, we'll just stick with that. kind of makes the world history a little more difficult to do. Um, we could really just mimic things and be like, oh yeah, back in the 1800s, there was this big revolution. This one group of elves went over to this other continent and settled it, and they didn't like paying the taxes back home. And there may not be other races here. Um, are there? And yeah, I don't think there's not going to be any orcs left, but there will be. Um, there are effectively fantasy creatures out and about in this world. Let's actually head back to 5e tools. Pull up the bestiary. Let's see. Let's just start with the beast tab. I don't think there's really anything really too odd in this one. See, we got some dinosaur-looking things in here. Giant serpents. Oh yeah, the sky whale. Yeah, we're definitely gonna use the sky whale. Ooh, okay. We're gonna use. I was kind of thinking, like, maybe this is a very Earth-like place where they just have what I would call normal environmental things, bears, wolves, stuff like that. But now what if they have dinosaurs and things like that instead? So there would be dinosaurs. Ooh, okay, yeah. So it's a very like our modern world, but replace our wildlife with the Jurassic period. So there's going to be dinosaurs and big bugs. Because those were common, right? Did I hallucinate that? Is that a thing? Were there big bugs in the Jurassic period. Oh, they were less common in the Jurassic period, but giant bugs were a thing. So we're going to stick with that. Because who doesn't like killing big bugs? I mean, it's one reason Helldivers is popular, Starship Troopers. Bugs, they just make such a great enemy because there can be lots of them and it makes sense. And then also they're typically weak enough. You know, yeah. Bug enemies are cool. I kind of like swarm styled enemies in general, like where there's just lots of a thing. You know, spiders, crabs. You know, if it was like well, actually that would be kind of cool too. If there was like an apocalypse setting and there was just like a bunch of kind of like tigers or something that were out and about. Okay, and so just in the notes here, we're going to say prehistoric, historic wildlife. Yeah. Okay, this world's pretty cool. Not gonna lie. Yeah, are any of you all world building? Let us know in the comments of a world you're working on. You can even join our Discord. Share it in there. We have a good community going. You can drop ideas in. Dude, seriously, join the Discord. Angry Meatball is one of our guys in there. He's, man, he's brilliant. Now I'm just gonna kind of look through here to see if there's any other enemies under beast that kind of jump out at me, like the sky whale. Like I'm looking for very what's the word? I guess unique entries. Almost like cryptids for us. So like the elves here will be like, oh yeah, you know, those conspiracy theorists always talking about, oh yeah, there's this giant whale serpent up in the sky. Well, then why have we ever seen it? We have planes, you know, we have flying contraptions. And if it's so big, what does it eat? What does it live off of? That's impossible. You can't have something like that up there. Now, I know under the elemental tab, there's a couple things in there that kind of fit with what I'm going for. Like, there's the, like, giant rock turtle guy. And I'm also thinking of, maybe looking under the aberrations tab. But nah. I think we're good here, just with the beast tab. And the thing too is there's probably not any of these dinosaurs left. Because like I very much pictured this world like the Chronicles of Riddick, where I mean, as far as we could tell, that planet that they were stuck on, where the things came out at night, you know, it seemed like it was just that world was that was all that lived there was those things. Now I'm sure there were probably some other things because you know they gotta feed on something, unless they do like a weird cannibalism thing. I should rewatch that movie. The Riddicks were really good. Um, yeah, there was that one. Not well, actually, that was kind of a long way back now. Yeah, definitely. At least the first two were really good. I remember enjoying that third one. How many movies are there? Riddick movies, and I think they might be working on another one. Let's see, that was. Oh yeah, there's 3 live actions, and then there was that animated one. I don't think I've ever seen that animated one. But yeah, Pitch Black was awesome. And then yeah, Chronicles of Riddick was really good. And then the movie Riddick, it was still good. Um, but it didn't. I can't really say it did anything new or really different. You know what? We're just gonna stick with the sky whale, I think. Because I was even just thinking, like, that thing could probably, you know, go underwater too. Because, you know, when you're well, at least when I'm world building, I'm like, oh, well, if I have a sky one, then I have to have a water one and an earth one. Yeah, okay. So we got the creatures that did populate this world. And, I mean, maybe there are still some dinosaurs left, you know? Because, I mean, even in real life, even though there are animals that hunt, uh, you know, deer and whatnot, it's not like they have driven them to extinction. Although that might also be because of us. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we got our creatures, we got our inhabitants. Because I mean, yeah, even in other movies, um, like in, well, yeah, I mean, in what was that movie called? Will Smith, vampires. Uh, Last Man Standing. I Am Legend. Wow, man. Yeah, I mean, even in that one, there were, even though, even though there were all those vampire people about, mutant vampire guys, there was still wildlife. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, what should we do next? Do you all have any suggestions? Any ideas? So we got our creatures. Um, I mean, I guess I could try to go into the elven history of, but I'm really just thinking like throw in something. There was a 9/11. There was there was a march where oh yeah, that's a good point though. The elves that were here, are they all the typical high elves? Or are there drow? Are there dark elves? Sea elves? Because, I mean, look at the human race. There's, all, there's a good variety of ethnicities here. And yeah, hope you all are doing well. And staying warm. I think we're starting to move out of the winter season. At least this week, we've had. There was one day it got up into the 60s. That was nice. That was very nice. I think it is kind of dipping back down a bit. I actually haven't checked the weather. But wherever you are, I hope the weather is treating you well. Let's see. Yeah, for the rest of the week, we got high 20s, low 30s, low 50s. So yeah, it looks like we're. It could just be a little fluke, but yeah, typically about this time of the year, I would say, is when it starts to heat up again. We're definitely all. I think we're ready for spring. Winter was nice. It was nice. We got some good snow this year. It was beautiful. I need to venture out more in the winter time to like, uh, do some hiking trails or something. to see nature in the snow, because man, it's gorgeous. Let's see. Let's treat the elves like a bag of Skittles. So another fantastic website I highly recommend is Pinterest. This is going to sound probably really weird to a lot of you, but I only discovered Pinterest like, what, a year ago, year and a half ago, something like that, maybe two. Because like I've known of Pinterest, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I existed before Pinterest existed, and when it came to be, it was the recipe website. It was like, oh yeah, where did you get this recipe? Oh, well, I found it on Pinterest. And so growing up, that is basically what I have associated Pinterest to my entire life. And then in talking with people, would be like, oh yeah, yeah, there's this one artist on Pinterest that I really like. And I was like, what? A recipe website? What do you mean art? And dude, gosh, there's so much gorgeous stuff on here. I'm sure a lot of this is now AI stuff. I have mixed feelings about AI because boy, do I love it. But boy, does it suck. Let's see. Elf varieties? Maybe I should just start typing in colors. Ooh, yeah, that's brilliant, Jonas. Man, see, this is why world building is so much fun. So, the reason why there are different human ethnicities is one, genetics and stuff like that. But, the big thing is the pigment of, depending on where the human species was, if it got a lot of sun, then their skin got darker to, counteract that. So, that's why Southern Africa is, well, that's where Africans and whatnot came from. And then when you went up north, it was kind of less sun, so then we got more pale, and then we got me, little ghosty boy. Although, well, I've kind of lost my, I've lost my tan. I worked outside for a job for a good while, and I changed color. There was definitely a difference. But that's how we have our different ethnicities. That's, part of it, at least. So, what if with elves, the reason why, there's the sea elves that are blue and the dark elves, the drow, why, kind of why they're purple slash gray. What if instead of it being by essentially the sun, it's kind of like just the environment they are in. Elves, what am I looking for? They evolved to camouflage with that environment in a way. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why if elves that evolved up north in like a snowy tundra area. That's why they're snow elves, because their skin is white and even probably to the level of albino. Ooh, I like this theory. If I could spell, man. I don't know when it started to happen. So be warned, when you start getting older, not that I'm old by any means. Well, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, when you start getting older, you just, your brain just, it stops. It stops. So lately, I feel like I'm misspelling things more and more. Okay, so we're going to have our blue sea elves. We'll have the normal we're just going to say Caucasian high elf. Gray dark elf. Who is this? Star Set. Ah, I should have known. I haven't listened to a lot of Star Set, but from what I have heard, they're pretty good. Yeah, like My Demons is a good one. It Has Begun is another favorite of mine, mostly because whenever I learned about it, it was with a Shang Tsung kind of tribute video. I love Shang Tsung. He's my favorite. Let's see, do we have any examples here of like elves with kind of reddish skin? Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I don't want them to be like super bright, vibrant colors. But like that one, that looks awesome. Man, elves are awesome. Do you all have a favorite race of like of the fantasy races? I'm cliched, but yeah. Well, I mean, I do really enjoy elven races. They just always, no matter what role you put them in, they just look awesome and it fits. Like the scrawny, small, uh, basically Native American elves in Dragon Age, they are so cool. The Dalish are so awesome in Dragon Age. And then you go to Lord of the Rings, and the elves there, they're cool. Legolas is awesome. They're so elegant and ah. What's another good one? I mean, even in the Elder Scrolls, you got the dark elves in there. They're cool. The high elves in Elder Scrolls, I hate with a passion. Man, they're such scumbags. Yeah, I think, was that last year? No. Sometime in the past, I found like this lore video guy on YouTube and just listened through a bunch of stuff on the Elder Scrolls. And yeah, basically the only good race, if I remember right, was the Argonians, because it was like everyone else shat on them and used them and enslaved them. So then whenever they finally got freed, they really haven't, it's not like they mimicked it or did anything. They're just trying to survive. So the Argonians are like the only good guys. Because, yeah, I think even the Wood Elves enslaved them at one point. But definitely the High Elves, they were the worst of the worst. And yeah, learning about the Elder Scrolls lore was really interesting because, like, the Khajiit, they're bonkers. You know, a lot of the time we see them in that normal humanoid form, but according to the lore, if you go to elsewhere, there could be a 2-story tall cat, and that's a Khajiit. Now, I'm also trusting that YouTuber guy, but I mean, he seemed to really know what he was talking about. So yeah, we got red elves. Oh, maybe I should put where they're from too, because if their skin color is going to be based off of their environment, essentially. Um, so, oh, would there be the normal kind of Caucasian high elf then? No. Well, no. Because, yeah, they're usually pictured living in forests. But if we're going based off of environment as how they get their skin tone, then the ones that you would see in the forest, I mean, they would be green. Green or brown because of the bark. And yeah, the sea elves, uh, they would be blue. Now, when we say sea elf, do they actually live in the sea? Or do they just live near it? Or they live on it? That'd be a pretty interesting one. You know, they live on like a floating. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Floating sea city. Trying to think if I've seen anything like that in something else. Uh, in a way, I think there was kind of a city like that in the movie Waterworld. It's an old Kevin Costner movie, and I think it got like a lot of slack and uh, stuff back when it first came out. But I think it's awesome. It was an awesome movie. So yeah, blue sea elves on their floating city. We got the green or brown elves. Yeah, in their forests. We got the gray dark elves from the yeah, the cave cities. Red elves from the desert cities. Oh yeah. Um, I'm gonna say albino because I really want to stress like how white these guys are. It's not like white. It'd be like ah, snow. The albino snow elves in the you know tundra cities. Oh, so with the snow elves, would they be like the Russians? You know, I mean, yeah, Russia's, from what I know, it's a pretty snowy place. At least it seems to always be portrayed that way. What time is it? Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, we'll go till 9. It's generally whenever. I usually do about 2 hours. Because, I mean, it's just me. I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's kind of not meant to be in a way. Because I'm here for you. That's why I titled, the way that it be. I am here to help you. If you're world building, ask away. And I can help you with your Patreon. Pantheon. I can't help you with your Patreon. That's all you. But yeah, if you're working on a Pantheon, you can ask me questions. If you're making a character, and you're kind of stumped on what you want to do, run things by me. Whether it's mechanically, like if you're like, oh yeah, I want to do this class, but how does this work? Or if you're thinking more role play wise. And I will try not to hum along with the songs because I can't imagine. I know for me, if I was watching or listening to a video and the person kept humming to themselves, it'd kind of like, I don't know, I feel like that would get on my nerves a little bit. And I use that phrasing very loosely because I don't really get upset with things. I'm a very chill dude. To the point where my doctors thought I was dying once. I think their little heart thing just goofed. Cause yeah, I went in once. They strapped it on, and when it was done, they looked at me and they were like, "Are you feeling okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." You feeling okay? And they're like, "Well, your blood pressure was really low," and yeah. And then they did it again, and it was fine. But it was just it was pretty funny. I thought it was funny. Um, let's see, elves. Oh yeah, let me look at the. I was like, why was I coming to the race page? What was I looking at? So yeah, we got the sea elves. Let me look at the Eladrin. That's kind of what these elves are in a way. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, you don't have the picture of like the different beep boop poppers? Oh, that's okay. Because, yeah, see, there's the autumn Eladrin that has kind of the orangey red skin. Is there an environment I'm missing? We got sea, forest, cave / underground, desert, snowy tundra. We also don't need a whole bunch either. You know what? To help kind of minimize. That's one thing I really liked about like Dragon Age. I mean, there's what, 4 races in that game? 4? Yeah. Human, dwarf, elf, and Kunari. Yeah, there's 4 races, and it's such an exciting world. I mean, even look at Lord of the Rings. There's humans, halflings, dwarves, and elves. Yeah, I'm definitely. I mean, I am a very simple man, but yeah, simplicity really is key. Like less is more. It's a pretty wild thing, and I love it. Yeah, I think this is good. We got our variety. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm just thinking this over. No, yeah, I'm good with this. Go with this. Was almost thinking about getting rid of the gray elves, but no, that's fine. That's good. I do still enjoy, variety is the spice of life, as they say, whoever they are. All right, so we have our world. We got a little bit of lore, like the world's history, that, there's elves, and then there were orcs at some point, but they're all gone. They got massacred. Mm, we got 4 theories about where these vampiric hounds came from. Because it is kind of a modern world, but just elven. We got the fuel source, like how we have gasoline, petrol, petroleum, whatever you call it. They have ventral, which is their fuel source, and it's their radioactive material. We got what creatures live in this world. There's dinosaurs. It's even though it's a modern society, I should say, it's a pretty prehistoric world as far as wildlife goes. So there's dinosaurs, big bugs, and of course there's the sky whale. We could probably throw in a few other like cryptid things. Let's go to the bestiary. Let's like maybe harpies are considered a cryptid creature. People travel to Spiegelberg to be like, they got their harpy T-shirt on. Yeah, man, we traveled all the way from Green Glow, and we just really want to catch a sighting of the harpy. Yeah, there was yeah, for a good while when I worked at the movie theater, I found like a cryptid channel, and it talked about all of these different cryptids that are uh, amongst the world. It was pretty interesting. And personally, I do feel like some things are real, like Bigfoot. That one seems like a pretty possible thing. Is it most likely a hoax? Probably. But I mean, the world's a crazy place. I mean, there was that video uh not too long ago of like that giant squid, and I mean that thing was massive. 3 people? I'm special. Hi. Thanks for watching, tuning in, listening to my madness as I ramble along. And yes, I will extend it to you, dear viewers. If you are world building, character creating, yeah, ask away. If you need help with anything or just want to bounce an idea off of somebody, that's why I'm here. And to do some world building of my own to kind of help spark imagination, because D&D really is the greatest invention of mankind. Thank you, Gary Gygax. One, for having such a badass last name. Gygax? Like, what? I gotta look that up. What is the origin of that? Uh, Gygax last name. Oh, yeah, origin. Thanks, autofill. Gygax has a Swiss German origin. Huh. I never would have thought German or Swiss. Because, yeah, Gygax. I don't know. To me, that sounds something mm, maybe like Middle Eastern. But yes, thank you, Gary Gygax, for being one of the co-inventors of D&D. Mm, okay, so we got that. And maybe I'll work more on the world's like history. Like, what are some events that happened? Was there a World War II? But that's going to require me to do a lot of this. And I really doubt you want to sit there and watch me stare off into space for like 30 minutes or even an hour. Plus, it is getting late. What? 8:55. All right. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm past the 2 hour mark. Fantastic. Well, that seemed like a good place to stop then. Thank you all for tuning in. If you liked it, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, hit that like button. Do the subscribing thing that we all know how to do. It's free, it's super easy, and it truly helps us out a lot. We are trying to make the Wayward Inquisition our job, and you can help with that. And doesn't it feel good to help people? And yeah, be sure to check out our VODs. We have a wonderfully awesome and heartbreaking tale, Treachery, a Governor's Secret. There's some pretty awesome characters in that one. Not gonna lie. Pretty soon here, we're gonna start recording Treachery, a Lord's Gambit. Courtney, we said it was gonna happen, and it did. It just did. Yes, in a Lord's Gambit, it's gonna take place a good chunk of change into the future from the last campaign. So it's gonna have a bit of a steampunk feel. So that's gonna be cool. And though I am excited for our characters in this one, the boys in the first one, they're just so good. But if dark fantasy is not your thing, we also have 2 sci-fis. We have a Star Wars duet between moi and our Grand Inquisitor Courtney. And then Knight Commander Patrick led us in a Halo-inspired TTRPG, Arc Outer Rift. And boy, was that one awesome. It was fast-paced, like it would be in the games. The guns hit hard if we could hit, which was more our fault because I am a terrible roller. I'm really bad, and it infects other people. So yeah, if you're a fan of Halo, check out Arc. You'll love it. And it was the first story that Courtney and I's characters they didn't really like each other, even though they did like each other. It was fun because yeah, we've done those. We're also in the middle of a Western fantasy, which is a lot of fun. A no magic world, but you got orcs and elves and halflings and tieflings and yeah, just Westerns are cool, man. I beat Red Dead 2 at the start of this year, and I will never be the same because Arthur Morgan is a man. Gosh, I love that guy. And there were so many other, side people in it that were great too. Hosea was great. I really enjoyed Sean, mostly just because of his Irish accent. But hey, sometimes that's all it takes. So yeah, we got those. If you live in the Kentuckiana area, which is kind of the southern border of Indiana and the northern border of Kentucky, in Clarksville, Indiana, March 7th, there's going to be the Mad Comics Comic Shop Con. I made up that title for it. But yeah, it's going to be a local Comic-Con in Clarksville, Indiana, which is pretty wild. And very close to home, which is also very nice. And yeah, we're going to have a table there. We're going to have a booth. So come see us. We're going to be there alive and in person. We'll have merch. And you can ask us questions about how we started doing this. You can ask us about D&D in general. This year we're going to be at a good amount of conventions, which will hopefully get us out there and we can not rival Critical Role. There's no way. There's no way. As awesome as we are, there's no way. But we just want to challenge them. I want to look across the way and see Matt Mercer at his table, and we both do the little guy nod of. But without ranting too much, thank you all for tuning in. Stay awesome. I'll see you next time. And remember that freedom always crits. And go to church. Bye.